everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Baking 101. We are at week 7, rocking and rolling. I can't believe we have one more class until our spring semester is over. Can you guys believe it? Double tap the screen if you're excited for that. This has been a really long journey. It's been really fun. I've had a lot of fun with you guys, so we will just keep it pushing. So as you know, tonight we're making banana bread. Hopefully you have your mise en place ready and together. I'm about 99% prepared with mine. I have all of my ingredients out here. There's my mise en place, so you should be ready. Hi Alexis Diva, welcome. So you should have your mise en place done like that. Got some nuts for mine. But I didn't do my bananas yet, and I didn't do my pan because I thought that was something that I should show you guys live. And I didn't put my microphone on. I just realized that right now. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's see. Maybe I can just pop it on really quick. Switch this out. Okay. All right. Okay. Put some hearts in the chat. Put some bananas in the chat if you can hear me. Put some bananas in the chat so I can know that the microphone is ready to go. Like you guys could hear me a little bit better. Okay, I see a banana. Okay, perfect. So again, so your mise en place should be ready. So I'm just going to season my pan. This is pretty simple. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this, but I just wanted to do this in class just for you guys to see, because you always have a couple of seasoning options on your recipe cards. So tonight for this recipe, I'm going to season my pan with flour. So I'm going to use oil and a flour to season the pan. You can use butter. A couple of you, I think, had some butter issues last week with the brownie. You can also use spray, like a spray butter or whatever for your pan. When you have a loaf pan, something that's really like deep like this, or like when you're baking a cake, it is best to do the oil flour method. So hopefully you've done that already. That way, if not, it's okay. But then just, let me know if you do have a little bit of an issue with that method. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil in my pan, just a tiny bit, just so that I can coat the sides. So really, really tiny bit, just like that. Okay, you don't want it to be too overpowering, and it's best you can use canola oil or a vegetable oil so that the flavor doesn't transfer into your bread. I'm just using a paper towel to lightly grease that. And again, this is really light so that when you do your bake, when it's done, you don't have a lot of like coating of flour around it. So that's why we do it this way. If you do the spray method, that, like I said, that works as well, but you might have issues when it's time for it to come out. So I just put a little bit of flour in there, and then I'm just going to shake it around on the sides so it can just cover, you guys can see that? So it can just cover every side. And then this will ensure that the bread comes out nice and smooth. Okay, so I've got all the sides there. And then I'm just gonna take this, and I always like to use another pan. And then I'm just see if I can do this your way. And then I'm just gonna, oh, I have a fan on. I'm just gonna shake it out like that, okay? If you just take that powder and just dump like this, all of it is not gonna come out. So you really need another firm object like this. Make a little noise. Okay, and get all of your excess flour off the sides. Okay, so that's like pan seasoning 101. Okay, so I wanted to show that to you all. The next thing was the bananas. So your menu called for ripe bananas. So you can use either ripe bananas for this recipe or overripe bananas, okay? Typically in your day-to-day life, when you pick a banana, it's underripe. So the skin on the banana is very clear and clean. Did you need me? Okay, it's very clear and clean. Should you use butter or nonstick spray? Okay, so if you use butter, it's gonna be more thick and it's gonna stick to your bread a little bit more. So that's why I'm saying when you're seasoning a pan, especially something that's deep and shallow, it's best to do the oil flour method. That way it doesn't stick to your bread. If you use a spray, that's fine. Just make sure, like if you spray it, get a dry towel and you can kind of pat it just to make sure that's very lightly coated. And the same thing goes for butter. So like last week when we did our brownies, we used a pastry brush and we, spread brownie on the sides of our pan. You can do that as well, but you have to make sure that it's very, very thin. I'm using a glass pan where I still need oil and flour. I do have Baker's Joy, but I never need to continue. Okay, as long as your coating element is super, super thin, okay? I'm just showing this method because in my opinion, this is best practice, but they'll all be sufficient. You'll just see when you're bringing your bread out of the pan, how easy it is to pull your bread out. Because when we do loaves like this, you want it to be easy to come out when we pop them over so they have that really nice rectangular shape. So just let us know when your bread is coming out, how that comes out. But whatever medium, your seasoning medium that you're using, just make sure the coating is super, super thin. And I forgot to tell you guys to turn on your ovens to 350. So let's go ahead and do that because we need our ovens to be really hot right now. Okay, easy breezy ovens to 350. All right, and if you don't have your sink set up, go ahead and set up your sink and I'll set mine up in a second. Okay, so again with the banana, so you have an underripe banana, you have a ripe banana, and you have an overripe banana. Again, in your day-to-day life, you're typically going to choose underripe bananas when you go to the store. So the skin of the banana is very clear, doesn't have any bruising, any coloring, dotting, anything on it. So that's an underripe banana. When you're baking, you do not want that type of a banana, okay? You want it to be ripe or overripe, okay? So I have examples here. Let me see which one's probably better to show. Okay, so this would be a ripe banana, and this would be overripe banana. I might even have one. I think I had one that was kind of, okay, like that. Okay, can we see that? So this is a ripe banana. To know a banana is ripe, you still see that really good yellow color, but now you're starting to have some brown spots in it, okay? Typically, you're not going to open this and just eat it raw or eat it, with your yogurt or whatnot. But you will bake with this. This would be the best to bake with, okay? And then the aging goes a little bit further. So these would be overripe, and you can see how you see more browning in the skin, okay? More browning in the skin. And then it's also going to be more soft to the touch, okay? So this is what you want. You either want a ripe or overripe banana, all right? So I just wanted to show you all that before taking them off. And then, of course, your banana is going to start to oxidize as soon as you open it up. And so I'm just going to start mashing mine. Again, make sure your ovens are on to 350. Make sure you've got your sink going. And if you don't have your bananas mashed, then just go ahead and get those started. I'm going to start mashing mine. So the recipe called for 2¼ cups of the ripe banana mashed. And so that's typically about 4 to 5, like medium-sized bananas. And I just take a fork to mash them in like that. And also, you always want to make sure, like, say if you needed, let's say 2 cups, and if you're guessing, oh, I might need 2 bananas, like whatever you're guessing, always grab one more, okay? Because it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? And then especially if you have to run back to the store. So it's okay to grab a little more than what you think that you're gonna need. That way you're not having to run back to the store, and then also, you know, you can use it later in something else. Okay, so I'm just getting my bananas mashed up. So see that? So this is how your mashed banana should look already. It's got some aging to it. It's ripe. Okay. Also, when it's at this age, it's more sweet, and that's what you want for your banana bread. You want it to be sweet. Okay, because we are putting the sugar in here, but the banana element is also going to add to the sweetness of this recipe. Okay, so I'm getting my mash going. That's what it looks like. So that's what your mash should look like, to the tune of 2 1/4 cups. All right, and then just to go over the full recipe, so we got the 2 1/4 cups of bananas. We have our 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 beaten eggs, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But remember how I taught you about your eggs, like beating your eggs in a separate container. But now that you've learned to do a mise en place, that should already be second nature to you now, okay? You're never going to crack your eggs right into the batter that you're using. You're always going to crack them separately into something else, just in case, you know, there's a little, you know, not developed chick in there, or some blood in there, or too much mucus, because that does happen. Okay, and my banana looks really good. And then you can see I've got some overripe coloring in there. Do I need my hand mixer, or is this more of a whisk? You're gonna need your mixer, okay? So if you have a hand mixer or a stand mixer, we are using the beater attachment, okay? Whisk is probably better. You're gonna need a mixer. All right. This one is kind of right. Didn't see the question. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, this one, you want to use a mixer for this one. I know last week we just used our whisk, and we really had some arm muscles going for that one. Did anyone have any sore arms last week after whisking their brownie batter? Because that one was a workout. This one, not so much, just mashing. Mashing will be that. And this is coming out lovely. So put some bananas in the chat if you have your bananas mashed already, and you can see the overripe coloring in your bananas. Let me know if you've got that together. And then I'm going to use a liquid measuring cup for my bananas, because they're in between, okay? It's like solid and liquid in here. That's what it looks like. Like, you don't want it to be too liquidy, you know, you just want to do a rough mash. So I'm using my liquid measure. There we go. And I'm about halfway there. All right, bananas are ready to go. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. All right, just about done with this part. And I've got some extra bananas just in case this one was not enough. Yeah, see, look at that. Like typically you wouldn't just eat that, right? And it could be a little, you know, kind of put you off a little bit, but that's how we want it for this recipe. Okay. All right, so back to the recipe. 2¼ cups of ripe and mashed bananas, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, 2 beaten eggs, ½ cup of butter, 3/4 cups of dark brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract, ½ teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1 cup of nuts if you want to put nuts in your bread. Tonight I brought pecans, so I'm going to do bananas with pecans. It's really popular to use walnuts, but if you don't want to put nuts in this bread, if you have a nut allergy, then that's fine to go without it. And if you're doing the gluten-free recipe, then again, you want to change your flour and check on, okay, my oven's ready. You want to change on your flour and change on your butter. Always check your butter because not all butter is gluten-free. Okay? And is the butter room temperature or melted? Thank you for the hot, for our people. Everyone say hi to For Our People. They're in here. This is For Our People is your student support page. And so you all probably saw that in the last couple of days, being recognized for your achievements here. So make sure that you say hi and follow For Our People because they are giving us student support. So I've got, looks like I have 2 1/3 cups here of my mashed banana. I need a little bit more. I got a couple more here. See, look at this one, overripe. So I'm going to do 1 more. And it's hot in here. Yes, I'm excited. What are you excited for? Okay, I am almost done with my mashing here. Okay. And I do want to say collectively, for student recognition, yes. So they put out some certificates. They were really cool. And I put it on my stories and reposted for everyone to see that you all have been doing an amazing job. Oh yeah, Lexus Diva, they did send you a DM, so check your DMs. Okay, so I'm good. I now have my 2 1/4 cup of mashed bananas. All right, look at that, beautiful. It smells amazing too. Okay, I'm gonna get my sink started. Okay, so get that going. You've got your mise en place and you're ready to go. Thanks for stopping in, guys. All right, so if you didn't see it earlier, there's my mise en place of ingredients. All right, and my optional nuts. Okay, so go ahead and put your attachments on your mixers and plug them in. If you haven't done that already. Yes, it's on their page. All of the student recognition that they've done so far is on their page. Okay, Let me just find my plug here for my mixer. Oh, see, my mixer is on somehow. And that's why we do this. Gotta be careful. Okay, so instructions. Number 1, preheat your oven to 350 and season your loaf pan or coat it with cooking spray. Check. Number 2, in a medium bowl, sift your flour, baking soda, cinnamon, and kosher salt. All right, let's do it. Let's get to it. Okay, medium bowl. I'm gonna sift my flour. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I always do this. For those of you who have sifters, if you don't have a sifter, you can just put it all in your bowl and mix. There you go. But I always tend to do that. Okay, medium bowl, got my sifter. So here's my flour. Okay, what's next? Baking soda. My baking soda. Okay, cinnamon, and kosher salt. Okay, just go ahead and tap that sifter on the side to get that all through. You can do this twice through if you like, but it's pretty effective on the first time. And then it'll have whatever little, see, I had something in there, whatever little clumps, you want to make sure like your sifter will catch that. Catch that. And then again, if you're using the kosher salt, which I suggest you do, sometimes it may catch in there because of the coarse pieces. So I'm just gonna do that. All right, boom. Got my sift. Next, in a large bowl, cream your butter and sugar. So that's gonna be on your mixer. In your large bowl, you're gonna cream your butter and your sugar. Why can't I talk tonight? Okay, butter, room temperature butter. That means that it's soft. Okay. And my apologies, I see on the recipe card now it just says butter. It doesn't say softened or melted like I did before, so I will fix that. So room temperature butter and then sugar. So the dark brown sugar, this was 3/4 cups, and nice soft brown sugar. Okay, you want to make sure when you're using brown sugar that it's not hard. Okay, you want it to be nice and soft. And then when you scoop that into your, when you're measuring brown sugar, it stands alone on its own. As you know, it doesn't fall like regular sugar. So you can always, see if I can do this. You can always skim it off. And if the recipe calls for it to be packed, then you push it in and pack it like that. Okay. But this one was just a loose brown. So got it like that. Okay. So again, always starting on low. Go ahead and cream your butter and sugar. And we opted for dark brown sugar for this recipe because, again, for banana bread, you want it to be really sweet, okay? The sweetness you're going to get from the sugar is coming from the sugar itself and molasses, okay? If you were to use a granulated sugar, the white sugar, the flavor profile is not going to be as sweet, okay? So if you like more of a sweet bread, you want to use the dark brown sugar. If you want it to be a little less sweet, you can use light brown sugar. And if you want it to be a little less than that, you can use granulated sugar, okay? So you can swap those sugars out and it's all transferable. So if the recipe says 3/4 cups, whether you're using dark brown sugar, light brown sugar, or granulated sugar, it's all the same volume. And that looks really good. Getting a nice good cream on my sugar. And then we are using the creaming method for the bread, because when you have a really good cream, a really good step on your creaming, that's going to aid into the softness of your bread, and then that's also going to help with the puff that's going to come out in the bread too. Okay, so we're creaming to smooth, we're creaming to soften and puff our bread. Okay, I need to scrape down my sides a little bit. And before I scrape it, I'll just show you mine. This is what yours should look like. Okay, nice and creamy. Nice and creamy. So I'm just gonna scrape down the parts of butter on the side that I need to incorporate in there. And always make sure you do this if you see that happening. That way you're getting all the flavors evenly in your batter. Okay, so see how my sugar looks? That's how your sugar should look. Okay. And the sugar even smells good. Or am I just hungry and I'm ready for this bread? But this smells really good. All right, we're ready to move on to the next one. Number 4, add in the eggs and the vanilla to the creamed mixture. Okay, so our dry mixture is going to be this one, right? The flour, cinnamon, dry. Our creamed mixture is going to be this one that is wet. Okay, so on this one, we are adding the eggs and we're adding the extract. Let's just sit this on something. All right, so I've got my vanilla extract to go in there. Thank you for liking the live. Remember, we always try to get to 100,000. So tap, tap, tap that screen if you're not baking tonight and you're a fly on the wall. Okay, and then here are my beaten eggs. Look at that. Beautiful color. Okay, beaten eggs. And this is just a little trick that I taught you guys with the eggs. Instead of cracking an egg and you can see the separation between the yolk and the white, best practice is to beat your eggs so that you get them really incorporated really well. Okay, so always start low and then build the speed. Always start low, okay, and then watch it. When you're making bread, you do not want to overmix, okay? Your bread is going to be really hard and tough if you overmix. So make sure you watch it and make sure that you're not overmixing, okay? What we're doing right now is just incorporating. Would you beat eggs for cookies too? Yes. So when I do cookies, I like to beat the eggs with the vanilla. Okay, that's my trick for my cookies. Beating the eggs with the vanilla. And it's just a very light beat with a fork. Okay, you don't want it to get puffy. You don't want, really like to see a bunch of like air bubbles. You don't want that. You're just really just beating it softly to incorporate the yolk and the white. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm going to give it a little more time. Again, just keep it slow. You do not want to overmix on this part. All right. Next up, number 5, gradually add your dry and wet mixture and whisk until fully combined. Okay. Best practice is always to gradually add the dry to the wet. That way, 1, it's not going to go all over your kitchen. And 2, again, you're, building with the incorporation and you're not going to overmix. Okay, let me see if I can show this to you all without making a mess. So you can see what your wet mixture should look like before you start putting that white in there. I'm just going to do that. Okay, see how it's nice and creamed? It's really fluffy. That's how your wet should look, okay? So hopefully it looks like that. And then you can go ahead and start adding. I would probably do half of this dry. Okay, start it on low to incorporate it. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. So start a low incorporation and then do the rest from there. Okay? Start it low. Now notice we don't have the bananas in here yet, okay? And when you guys are scratch baking, I'm trying to teach you like all the little tricks in here to make your bakes as successful as possible. You will see recipes that tell you to kind of, add things within the process when you shouldn't. So we're doing our bananas at the very end. Okay? Looks amazing, smells amazing. I hope everyone is doing great out there. Okay, I'm just going to turn that up a little bit. I've already got a sink full of dishes. Okay. We are looking good. I'm just going to scrape the sides and then I'm going to be done. Okay, that looks great. Okay, I'm actually going to stop here. Okay, so I am getting all of the excess batter off of my attachment, and this is why it's good to use a rubber spatula, because they can really get in those cracks and crevices in your attachment. If you really want to be fancy and invest, there is a beater scraper on the market. It kind of like looks like a claw, and it's really cool. And if you don't have one, you can just put it on there and then it'll just like scrape down all the sides for you in like one fell swoop. So that's if you want to invest in that. But if not, the rubber spatula works just fine. Okay. All right, so I've got that done. So now, for your bananas, you are going to fold in the banana. So remember, you learned to fold. And so what that means is you're not going to do like this, okay? With your bananas, you're going to do a nice gentle fold, okay? And then what that's going to do in this process is you're going to, and I'm just doing half at a time. You are, you're nicely going to incorporate the bananas without bruising them, okay? And so once they bake, you will have a really good bite. Like every bite will have those nice bananas in them, okay? And then you see the moisture of the banana will thin out your batter. If it was a little bit on the thicker side, that was okay. You'll see it thinning, okay? So that's what mine looks like. Smells amazing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead with the rest. Okay. And then I also have opted, like I said earlier, to put nuts in this one. So if you wanted to put nuts in yours, you're also, whenever you're adding nuts, to a recipe, you're also gonna fold your nuts in at the end, okay? And the reason being, same thing, like you don't wanna bruise the nuts. They should always be in a nice chop or a fine chop. And you don't want your nuts to liquefy. You want to have that nice solid piece that you chopped and have that, little bit of crunch in every bite. Okay, so this looks and smells amazing. Okay, so I'll show you mine again. That's what mine looks like. I've got some pecans. So here's what I did. So recipe is calling for 1 cup of nuts if you like. And I've got my little extra on the side for the garnish on top. Remember how we did that with the brownies? So now you know that trick. Okay. So now I'm just going to go ahead. Boop. There are all my pecans. Look at that before I mix it up. Doesn't that look amazing? What are we making? We are making banana bread. And yes, it's banana nut bread if you chose to put nuts in yours. Looking good and smelling good. Okay, and remember this part is just a nice fold. Okay, I've got that incorporated in there pretty well. Yummy, yes, nice and yummy. Tap the live, get us to 100,000. Can we add chocolate, or will the flavor not go good together? That would be your personal preference, your self-expression. I think that would be very delicious, bananas and chocolate. And I would do dark chocolate. Best would be best practice, but you could do semi-sweet chocolate or milk chocolate. But I would suggest dark chocolate if you're going to put it this recipe, and let me know how it comes out. Okay. All right, so now we are going to add that to our pan. So go ahead and fill your pan, and fill your pan about 2/3 of the way, okay? Not all the way to the top. If your batter happened to come out to where it's more than 2/3, okay? So just fill that about 2/3 of the way. And look at that, that looks incredible. Okay. Okay, so you guys can, oops, I'm gonna put my bowl in the way there. Okay. So I've got that about 2/3 of the way. And then now I'm gonna take my extra pecans. And here's the thing with this recipe, you're gonna put it only down the center, okay? Just down the center, not on the entire thing. And then you'll see when this bakes, the center is gonna rise and crackle, okay? So just very lightly down the center. All right, we're ready. And now we're going into the oven for 60 minutes. All right, so get your timer set for 60 minutes. I have a, okay, 60. I have a little bit of batter left over in mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and season another pan. Waste not, want not. And then I'll just have this little one to go in here. How many degrees? 350. And oops, that's a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw something earlier about sweet potatoes. So if you're gonna use the sweet potatoes, you're definitely gonna have to alter this recipe, because a sweet potato carries a lot of water. Okay, first of all, on your sweet potato, it should be a very, right, no sweet potatoes versus the bananas. Yeah, exactly. So sweet potatoes and bananas don't transfer, like it's not apples to apples. That would be apples to oranges, okay? So if you're going to use a sweet potato, make sure that they're either mashed very, very fine or grated very, very fine. You may even want to pat them to get some of that water out, okay? It has a higher water content, so you're going to have to tweak the recipe, okay? But that's why we experiment, right? Now that you're a scratch baker. So when you do your sweet potatoes, you're gonna have to experiment to see what best practice is for this recipe, okay? The one that I gave you guys, this is for bananas, okay? Remember in the big, whoa, fan is on. Remember in the beginning of class, I gave you that cookie recipe. That one you can play with, leave the recipe exactly the same, add your nuts, add your sprinkles, right? This one is not the same, okay? So you're gonna have to tweak the components of this recipe once you start changing the ingredients. encourage you to try it and let me know how it comes out. Okay, nice good tap on there to get all that flour out. And then we're gonna put the rest of mine in here. Okay, and then another thing too with this recipe, you know, and in this bread, it's also in the pan. The importance is in the pan too. So like if you were to use a round cake pan, like a 4-inch or a 6-inch, a square, it's not going to be the same. You're going to have to adjust your cooking time based upon your pan. So these are like all the little elements that, you know, will change the amount of ingredients that you put in stuff, will change the amount of time that you bake things. Okay, so I do encourage you to experiment, but just know that, you know, don't freak out if something comes out different. Does the flour that you're adding bake or does it stay like that? It'll bake. It's really just the buffer so that the bread doesn't stick to the pan. But you want it to be really thin so you don't have like a crumble of flour on your bread when it comes out. It comes out the oven. Okay, and this one is pretty small. So this one is not even filled. This is probably like a quarter of the way. I'm still doing it. We're still gonna put that one in there. Put that to the side. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Jeanette. Comments are going too fast. You guys can pin Jeanette's comment. Okay, Miss Mercy, I'm so behind. I got locked out of my email, so I was never able to get into anything and not something. Are you baking banana bread with us tonight, Jeanette? Just let me know. Are you back in your emails now to catch up? Because we have 1 week left. Forgot to add my I forgot to add my walnuts before pouring into the pan. Can I still add them? Yes. So what you're gonna do is start all over with your pan. Okay. So get your rubber spatula. Just go ahead and scrape all of it back into your large bowl. Put your nuts in, fold it in, and then clean your pan, you know, like back to fresh, season it, start all over. Okay, that's all you have to do. Don't for this particular one, like how we did with the brownies last week, don't do that. Don't try to like add them in while they're in that pan. Like start all over with the fresh pan until today. Okay. That's okay. So if you're baking with us today, then I'll see like your homework, your bakes for tonight. And then you guys have until April 2nd to turn in all of your homeworks. So again, every single class is on YouTube. They've all been an hour and a half. This one is 2 hours tonight, if you guys remember that. So you should definitely be able to catch up by the 2nd for sure, if that's what you want to do. Can I use cake goop instead of flouring in the pan? What is cake goop? I don't know what that is. What is cake goop? Can somebody Google that for me? Desi, can you Google cake goop? Yeah, let me know what that is. Oh yeah, I didn't redo my brownies last time or add flour. They were super fudgy. We ate in a few. Okay, yeah, there were a few of you that recipe did, you know, work for, which was awesome. And it probably could be because we're using different butter. Because remember, like if you're more on a margarine side, it's going to be more runny. If you're more on the butter side, which has a higher fat, your batter is always going to be on the thicker side. So it could have been that. There were some people that didn't have to do that, but you know how we were like adding the time. So definitely still adjust that recipe for that. We ate a few in tiny squares. Yes, we ate it. It was so good. Cake goop. A mixture of flour and vegetable oil. Oh, okay, so it's kind of like it's like a pre-seasoning. Yes, you can do that. Just a very, very thin lining on your pan for the cake goop. Mm-hmm. Ah, look, I learned something. Jeanette won't be able to when I'm trying to do Lent, gave up sugar and junk food. Okay, no problem, Jeanette. But I thank you for coming and joining the class. So since you're a fly on the wall, just make sure you're tapping the live. Get us up to that 100,000. Send some gifts if you like. How long to bake if I made 6 muffins with my leftover batter? 6 muffins. Sherry, I would say start at 16. You might be like the 16 to 18-minute range in a muffin pan. But first, let me know, is it a traditional muffin pan? Is it the big ones? Or is it the standard size muffin pan that's like a cupcake? Which one? Which muffin pan is it? I'm going to get these started. Let me know on that. Standard. Okay, so the smaller ones, yes. So start at 16 minutes and then check them. Check them at 16 minutes with your toothpick in the center. And then if they're not done, or if you can tell from just looking at it, then pop it back in 2-minute increments. Okay. Thanks for the roses, Katrina. And I had my tasting spoons here. I forgot to taste my batter. Did anybody taste their batter? I was too busy trying to read the screen. I forgot. I'm pretty confident though, but I forgot to taste it. But the tasting, that is a very important step because you want to see what's going on before you get it in the oven. Sometimes you might be a little too salty or something. Thanks for the likes, guys. All right, so start getting your kitchens clean. As you see, we've got some time on this one. All right, got a lot here. Okay, does anyone have any questions about this recipe? Whew, that's hot. Okay, this is going to be our Q&A hour. So does anybody have any questions about this recipe or any of the previous recipes that we did before? Because next week is your final and you're going to be doing that without me. So if you have any questions. Let me see what notes I have for today. But story time with Ricky, the co-host. Is story time with Ricky in here? Ricky, are you in here? Okay, let me see. Okay. Let's see what notes I had for us for this one. For the final, does the buttercream recipe and a piping technique count as 2 different things? Yes. Yes, it does. And I'm going to cover all of that in just a second. Let me see what notes I had for this recipe for you guys. Okay, so using ripe bananas, oh, how sweet it is. We talked about that. Don't overmix. We talked about that. Consistency is key. Watch your measurements. We talked about that. And last but not least, it's all in the pan. We talked about that. Okay, good. I uncovered all of the notes. Okay, So it looks like we don't have any questions about this recipe. Okay, so great. Y'all are rocking and rolling. Okay. Sorry, I was washing dishes. What's the final? I'm washing dishes too. Okay, we're going to talk about the final right now. It doesn't look like anybody has any questions for this recipe. Okay, so drum roll. Okay, so next week is your final bake and presentation for this class. That's crazy, right? It went by so fast. So what you're going to do is you are going to bake the treat of your choice, and you're going to use 2 techniques that you learned in this class. So I can see what your techniques are, okay? So pick one treat and do 2 techniques. If you want to be an overachiever and do 2 treats, you can do that. But the requirement is just 1, okay? So maybe pick one that was your favorite and really see how you've grown in your comfort scratch baking in the kitchen with that recipe versus when you made it the first time. Maybe you can pick something that you felt was more of a challenge and you want to hone in on those skills and perfect that recipe. You can choose that, or you can choose something that's right in the middle. Okay, so your final project and presentation is to pick the treat of your choice and pick 2 techniques that you've learned in this class to incorporate into your treat. Okay, and so next week is going to be a 2-hour class as well, and what you're going to do is whatever treat that you've chosen, like I'm not going to know what you're doing. Okay, so it's your discretion. You're going to do that on your own without me, and then I'm going to look at your final presentation. So prior to putting this class together, I thought that we would be able to bring everybody up on the live and see everyone's work within it, but we've learned that along the way that you can't do that. So what we're going to try to do is when you're done with your bake and you're ready to present, you're going to do your plate presentation and take a picture of it and email it to me. And now that I know how to put the pictures on the screen, then I'm going to put it up on the screen, okay, for everyone to see. The family like the monster brownies, so I might do them. Yes, monster brownies are yummy, and that's good for family too, like making that whole pan. Okay, so that's how we're going to do the final. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, so you're baking the treat of your choice, not my choice. Like I said, whatever was your favorite, turn this off. Whatever was your favorite, whatever you felt was the most challenging that you want to perfect. I mean, if you want to choose the thing that was the easiest for you, I guess you could do that too, but make sure that you're showing the techniques in there that you use if you're doing that. Okay, and then I can see on my ends of things, going back to January when we started, I can see the progression of your skills so far, and I can already see it. I definitely can already see it. But I think it'll be fun just to see like what everyone is choosing, right? Because we're all not going to be doing the same thing. And then for me, I'm not just going to be standing here twiddling my thumbs. I'm going to make something and achieve it within the 2 hours. Do you want this to be video that we send you? No, it's going to be in picture. Yeah, what you send to me is going to be in picture. Okay. Can I come to class with my cake pre-baked and decorate during class? Nope. You're going to bake your cake during class and assemble it during class, okay? And yeah, so we want to see how did I do my job? Did I teach you guys in here? Okay, I'm sorry this class is ending. Is there another class after this? I know, me too. It's kind of bittersweet, right? It's bitter because it's ending, but it's sweet because we're going to keep going. So we are going to do baking 201, and I'm hoping to have the schedule completely done by the time that I send you guys your homework email. I'm hoping to have it done by then. They're trying to have me, oh wow, they always have you do those little puzzles. My goal is to have that schedule done. That way you guys can know schedule for baking 201, when that's going to start and what that's going to entail. And basically we're, that 201 class is just building off of this one. So this is a beginner level. 201 is going to be intermediate level. So you'll be learning, now that you have these fundamentals, or if you already have had these fundamentals and techniques, we'll be building off of that. And again, I am a what am I trying to say? I'm a sweet maker. Like my specialty is cakes, cupcakes, cookies, brownies, and specialty confections. So that would be the emphasis on those things. So we'll be doing more of the decorating techniques and building upon the bakes that way. And I'll probably, like I'm going to throw like mousse in there and, just some cool things to add to your tool belt. I still kind of feel like a beginner. I hope baking 201 doesn't move too fast for me. No, it will, the pace will be about the same, because a lot of these recipes are things that, you can do in an hour. So time wise, you'll still have the amount of time, but we will tweak it to what we're doing. So like someone just mentioned earlier, should I have my cake already done or not? So something like that. So say like if we're decorating, then in that case, yes, you would have your cake done already, because at that point I'm teaching you techniques. So techniques with the buttercream, techniques with fondant, techniques with adding and building for cakes and cupcakes. So you would already have it done. Good question. And there's always, there's always something good to learn. Always something good to learn. All right. Put some bananas in the chat if everyone has or if you have your bread in the oven. Put some bananas in the chat if you have your bread in the oven. If you don't have your bread in the oven yet, what should we use? Put a stop sign if you don't have your bread in the oven yet. All right, Sherry's got her bread in the oven. Esme's got yours. Awesome. In the oven, Miss Noni. Awesome. I am Miss Noni. Is that NECA? I am Miss Noni. Is that NECA? Are you back? All right, Mr. Caprice. Crystal's got hers in the oven. Just let me know on that. Hello, yes, it's me. Okay, awesome. Welcome back. I think when I was doing like homework charts the other night, I was looking at our messages. All right. Does anyone have any more or any other questions in regards to the final project and presentation? And let me see. I can pull. Let me see. I am playing catch up. Yep, you can catch up. You got this. You got time. You've got time. And I know everyone knows like where you are in regards to your homework. You all know what you have to catch up on. Some of you are good to go. You've gotten all the homeworks. You've gotten all the homeworks turned in, so you don't have anything to catch up on. But there are a few of you that do have to play catch up a little bit. And I'm just looking at my sheet here. Okay. Okay. Mr. Capriza Sasha. And Ms. Daya, catching up this week. Okay, perfect. Let me see where you are. Okay. Yep. So that's so Ms. Daya, I have your notes from when you emailed me a few weeks ago. So we are on the same page. Okay, so let me just go. I'm just going to go back to week 1 and just give you all a culmination of things while we're waiting. Hopefully you are ahead of me and you've already got your kitchen cleaned or you're just about there. You got your cooling racks ready for your banana bread to come out, and you've got your toothpicks ready. I've been in every class, but I think the first 2 did not hit the flag button. Lexus Diva. What does that mean, did not hit the flag button? Okay, yes, I see that here. For Alexis Diva, it looks like you just need to do week 1. And if you have the syllabus, if you have your bake in the oven right now and you have your syllabus in front of you, you can do week 1's homework right now and send it to me. It's that easy. Week 1, we just did a scavenger hunt. It was very, very simple. Alexis Diva, I did do all the homework. Alexis Diva, I don't have your scavenger hunt. I can go back in my emails, but I don't have your. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you for confirming. I'm like, I don't have it on here. Yeah. Literally, you can pull up the syllabus and do your week 1 right now. That was a scavenger hunt. Okay. And that was just grab 8 things. I'm choking on nothing. Grab 8 things, 8 tools. Hold on. Let me sip my tea. What I'm choking on. Okay, that was just grabbing 8 tools in your kitchen that you have. Take a picture of it and send it to me. That was really, really easy one. Okay. Okay, so let's look. Week 1, introduction to basics. Yeah, so we basically, week 1, you guys learn kitchen safety and hygiene. I just can't talk tonight. Kitchen safety and hygiene, and then you learn some baking terminology. Oh, let's do some pop quiz on terminology while we're waiting. Okay, and then you did scavenger hunt. Okay, so week 1 was easy breezy. Week 2, understanding flour, fats, and sweeteners. So I introduced you guys to the sugar cookie. You learned creaming. Everybody knows what creaming is now. And then we talked about butter versus margarine, the different types of flours, our sugars, and leaveners. You learned on that as well. Okay. Pop quiz for the class. You guys ready for your pop quiz? I wrote some questions down. Let me find it. That's not it. That's not it either. Okay, found it. Found it. Okay, and I'll expound on this as we're going. Oh, look at Sherry. Boom. Homework coming in. Awesome, awesome. Okay, pop quiz question number 1. How many children do I have? Let's see who's been listening. Dun, 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 dun. Three or four. Two. Three or two. You guys are close. I have, drum roll, 4. I think I mentioned that the first two classes. I have 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy. Okay, pop quiz question number 2. Who did I introduce first for Black History Month? Who did I introduce first for Black History Month? Oh yeah. Not oh yeah, but Ayana is one of them, the one that you talked to. Armad, our TA. Oh, Miss Diana Manjin, yes. Extra points. Miss Dia, pop quiz, question number 2. Okay. Question number 3. What can you all give me one fun fact about Anna? See who's first up with a fun fact about Anna. Wasn't that cool to learn some Black history? I was so excited to do that because for the past, I don't know, 40 some odd years, she invented the pastry fork. Yes, Danielle. Yes. Extra points, Danielle. Question number 3. Pastry fork. They're just like teaching the same things about our history or, not teaching at all. So it's great if you had parents that were really in tune with that and just kind of pulled those resources for you to give you information to expound upon our ancestors. Or if I don't think in high school, but definitely in your college courses, if you took Black studies, if you took African American studies classes, like how this all started with a certain someone, just learning about different people. And then I thought it would be really cool to cater it to the kitchen, like what we're doing right now. All right, awesome, great job. Number 4. This educational movement that has brought us all here now was sparked or brought on by who? Pop quiz question number 4. And Dr. Barlow. Okay, Danielle. She's quick. She's quick, you guys. Extra points. Okay, Sherry, Dr. Barlow, great. Did anyone here take Dr. Barlow's class? I'm smelling my bread. Did anyone here take her class? Yes, Crystal, Dr. Barlow. No. No, but I want to. Yeah, that's like how it all started, right? We all saw her TikTok and I was like, oh, let's take this class. And then it wasn't for us. Okay. I wanted to, but I'm studying for a CPA exam, so I thought it'd be too much. You go, girl. That's awesome, awesome. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with your CPA. Good luck with your CPA exam. That's exciting. I'm going to brag a little bit. So our mod slash TA for this class, Ayana, my daughter, she's in her master's program right now for psychology. So she's studying away too. I'm super, super proud of her. You're welcome, Crystal. You're welcome. All right. Question number 5. Yes, congrats to Ayana getting her master's. Black girl magic. All right, question number 5. What are the 3 ways to prepare butter for your mise en place? Question number 5. What are the 3 ways to prepare butter for your mise en place? See who can answer that first. What are the 3 ways to prepare butter for your mise en place? Scoop into cup. Nope. Cold, soften, and melted. Yes, ding, ding, ding. Katrina got it right first. So when you're reading the recipe for your butter, it's either going to be cold, which means you bring it out of the refrigerator once you're putting your mise en place together. It's either going to be softened, meaning that it's going to be out of the refrigerator prior to you putting your mise en place together. And it's going to be like kind of mushy to the touch because it's soft, or it's going to be melted and you're going to pop it in the microwave so it's completely liquefied for your mise en place. Awesome. Lexus Diva, melted, soft, and regular. Okay, does regular mean cold, Lexus Diva? But great job on your answer. Cold, room temp, or melted. Crystal got it. Melted, softened, and cold. Samaria, awesome. Mr. Caprice, soft, melted, and cold. Oh, my comments stopped moving. Yes, hearts in the chat. You all are doing excellent on these questions. Okay, Katrina was the first one on that. My mic went out. Can't hear me anymore? Can or cannot? Like in there or like in real life?
It just changed,
so my mic possibly died. Cold, I keep moving fast. My green light is still on. You guys can still hear? Oh, can still hear, but the mic turned off. Okay. Let me put it back on the charge. Yeah, I wanted to play music, but since we have to put this on YT, they won't let me do that. So with the mic on is like a little better quality. So I just we're gonna charge it up. Okay. Hearts in the chat if you can still hear me, because now I turned it off and put it on the charger. So maybe they can't hear me. Put some hearts in the chat. Okay, there we go. Must have been a little bit of delay. Okay, perfect. So you can still hear me. All right, so what was the last question? Oh, 3 ways to prepare butter for the mise en place. Yes, so room temperature, so that is soft, cold, or melted. Okay, question number 6. Where do you store raw eggs in the refrigerator? Where do you store raw eggs in the refrigerator? On the shelf, in a container, in the back to keep them cold. Okay, you guys are warm. You are warm. Think about, okay, I would say Sherry's probably the closest. Think about the shelving in your refrigerator. Where are you gonna put those eggs? Inside the shelf in original carton. They could be in the original carton. You can also transfer them to certain things. Top shelf, not top shelf, think of the opposite. Bottom shelf, yes, Danielle got it. Extra points for Danielle. Put some claps in the chat for Danielle. Danielle's rocking and rolling tonight. Okay, so with raw eggs, you want to store them on the bottom shelf in the refrigerator. And reason being, you know, raw eggs says, oh wow, let me move my eggs. Yes, week 1, or yeah, was that 1 or 2? I think it was week 1 I taught you guys that about the eggs. So put them on the very bottom. That way, if the egg were to crack and leak in your refrigerator, it's not falling onto anything else that's in it and contaminating anything in your refrigerator. It is probably like nature for us to keep the eggs at the highest point, but that's actually not where you want to go, because you're probably thinking in your mind, oh, I don't want my eggs to crack, but you want them at the bottom. Okay, so great job. Great job to Danielle. Put some claps in the chat for Danielle. Okay, perfect. Next question. Question number 7. And let me just see. I kind of feel like the comments are lagging a little bit for what I'm actually seeing. All right, question number 7. What does baking powder do? What is the function of baking powder? Yes, we got some celebrations in the chat. Okay, Mr. Caprice was first. Puff, yes. Ding, 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 ding. Baking powder puffs, okay? So when you want something to have a really good rise, you're gonna use the baking powder to puff it up, okay? And you might have noticed for this recipe, we use baking soda, but that's because of this pan. This pan is very narrow, so the soda, like how it's like trying to spread the bread, it will rise as well. But yes, baking powder is gonna give you that puff. Great job, Miss Daya. Great job, Esme, Ms. Noni. Let me go back. Somebody's got a bad connection. Oh no. Puff, puff, puff. Okay, that was Mr. Capri's. Got question number 7. Okay, what do you guys think I'm going to ask you for question number 8? What does baking soda do? Let me make sure I'm seeing these comments. Okay, Sherry with spread. How'd you get that so fast? Do you see my notes? Sherry got it. Number 8. Awesome, awesome. Let me write that down. So pop quiz answer number 8 to what does baking soda do? Baking soda spreads, okay? So, oh, I said it wasn't, oh, I gave it away. I kind of gave it away. Yeah, so baking soda is gonna spread, okay? So in particular to any cookie recipe, right, that baking soda measurement is gonna help your cookies. So some of you, if you can remember back then to the week of sugar cookies, when you did your cookies, they came out really, really like restricted, right? Almost like a ball. So we talked about changing your butter, right? So I asked you if you had a butter or a margarine. And then we talked about tweaking your recipe on your baking soda to get that nice spread. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm doing my job. Okay. Number 9. Let's see without giving it away. Name another figure that we learned about for Black History Month. And then whoever gives us the first answer will expound on what they did. All right, Miss Daya, Alfred C. Alfred Crail, yes, thank you very much. So Miss Daya and Mr. Caprice, I'll give it to you for pop quiz question number 9. And tell me, what did we learn? Tell me a fun fact that we learned about Alfred Crail. Yes, the inventor of the ice cream scoop. Did anyone think about Alfred Crail last week when you were scooping your ice cream for your brownies? Did anyone think about him? Did you all teach your children about these people? Let me know in the chats. So yes, Mr. Caprice, Lexus Diva. My bread is smelling amazing. Put some bananas in the chat if your banana bread is smelling amazing in your kitchen too. I told my husband, great. The husbands, they're just like winning on this class, right? They're getting to taste everything. They're getting to see you hone in on your skills in the kitchen. Your plate presentation has kicked it up a notch. Now you're teaching them. Okay, Danielle taught her kids. We got some bananas. Yes, I'm smelling it. It smells amazing. I know, I can't wait. I want to peek on mine, actually. Oh my God, it looks so good. Turn the light on in here. Ooh, that looks good. Was that Sherry with the muffins? Sherry, what's going on with your muffins? Did you take them out? I'm going to bring the phone to my oven. I will never buy whipped cream again. I'm saying, me either. And it's funny, like my family, they get tired of me because I do everything from scratch. I'm even at the point, like, I'm ready to start making my sauces from scratch. So pestos, any like balsamic blends, all that stuff, I'm doing it from scratch, okay? Because I don't want the preservatives. I want everything from scratch. They're like, you don't have to do everything from scratch. Okay, I'm gonna try to turn this to see if you guys can see my oven. Can you see that? Can you see my bread in there? It looks so good. It smells so good. I can't wait. Can't wait to eat this one. Yes, I agree. It was so good, right? I make my Italian dressing. You do? Yes, I'm trying to wipe the lens off here. I'm next. Okay, Ms. Daya, I am next. I am next for making my sauces. I'm not playing around. And my boyfriend, he always says, like, you're like Nora Smith. Is that her name, Nora Smith? Nara. Okay, I'm like, this sounds weird. Like, you're like Nara Smith. Like, you're trying to do everything from scratch. I'm like, look, put me on a ranch. Put me in a moo-moo. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put me in a moo-moo. But yes, I will do everything from scratch. And then, if you guys watch, did you guys watch With Love Megan? I'm pretty sure you've seen all the stuff on TikTok if you didn't watch it. But, you know, a little chicken coop, I'm not mad at it. A garden, somebody on here, oh, I think it's Sherry. Sherry's, if you don't mind me sharing, has a garden that she's working on. Yes, ladies, it's very important. Be healthy for ourselves, healthy for our spouses, healthy for our children. Okay, that's him. Our other mod in the chat, Jason, that's my boyfriend there. So he's calling me borderline Amish. Like, I'm trying to do everything from scratch, okay? I'm scratch baking, I'm scratch cooking, I'm in the organic section. I'm trying to be, you know, just as fresh and healthy as possible. And I'll just share like a personal note about myself. So maybe about 10 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And one of the first things that they told her was like her diet. Like she was a heavy meat eater, and just not the best diet basically. And the story, not the story, but the truth of our ancestors and why we eat what we eat, the scraps, right? Chitlins, pork, just, a lot of these things that made up the fabric of our meals in our kitchens were because we got the scraps of everything, right, in our slavery decades. So fast forward to now, things on the farms, they've got, so many pesticides. They're not feeding these animals properly. So whatever these animals are eating, we're eating, right? So it's giving us cancer. So my mom was on that journey, and she is alive and healthy, by the way, let me say that. But for myself, I'm personally dealing with things too, because now I have that family history of breast cancer, and then also my mom's sister went through the exact same thing. So I have a high, and that kind of makes me emotional a little bit. So I have a high probability of that. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. I do know why I'm getting emotional, but so that's also like what's fueling me to eat healthy so that I can live. And so I go and get scans. Like they started, me on scans every 3 months and then every 6 months. So now I do scans every year, and I've been healthy. But that's just a part of my journey. So it's not that, I'm definitely not trying to push that on you guys. I'm just sharing my personal story. But if you can, eat things as fresh as possible, eat things organic if you can afford to. I know it's, so much more expensive to do that, but where you can do that, do it, because it'll save your life. I'm sorry I got emotional right there. Sorry about that. I'm glad your mom is doing better. I'm 36 years cancer free. I had brain cancer when I was 3. Oh my goodness. Yeah, cancer is no joke. Is a real thing. It affects a lot of our lives, and we can beat it. Okay, we can get ahead of it. A lot of it is the food. If you really research, if you really watch these documentaries about these farms, it's all in the the fertilizers that they're using, all the antibiotics that the animals get, all the pesticides that they use on the fruits and the vegetables. You would be surprised just how tweaking your diet could save your life. And then for us too, because we know most of us taking this course, we are Black. Just again, with our history and our diets, just given the scraps, given all the fattiness of every element of a food that's being prepared, it's not healthy. That's why we're predisposed to high blood pressure, to diabetes. It all stems from diet. So if you seek out that knowledge, you tweak that for yourself, you're adding years onto your life for that. So let's see, I'm missing, my comments froze. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you guys. Let me go back. So reality for all of us. My aunt was recently diagnosed. Yes, it is a harsh reality, and it's in the food, guys. I had to change my diet due to heart issues I was having and a heart attack 3 years ago. Yeah, right. So who was that? Alexis Diva. Yeah, with heart issues. So I'm pretty sure, and I do have a medical background, so they probably checked your LDL, I can't think right now, low or high HDL, LDL, checking that for your cholesterol. You've got to watch those numbers, tweak those salts. Okay, so you guys see how I use kosher salt. That's again number 1 for flavor, okay? Because when you bake with kosher salt, it is going to pull the flavor out better than a table salt. But also for your health as well, a kosher salt is better. sea salts are more healthy. Himalayan salts are even healthier. Those are harder to bake with, but if you can get a fine Himalayan salt, then that's a way to go too. And to protect your heart. Thanks for sharing, Lexus Diva. You're welcome. Thanks for sharing, Crystal. You're welcome. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Started a garden with veggies. Yeah, I want to as well. And I was telling Sherry about that a couple of weeks ago on the live. I have a brown thumb. And it's funny because I used to own a floral company, and I used to do like weddings and all these like big productions. But as far as like growing stuff, I have a brown thumb. I just cannot grow stuff. I kill everything. So, oh, I probably can't say that on here. Okay, don't restrict me, guys. Kill. So I would try, you know, on my windowsill to do like mint, basil, you know, just, I would start with like the simple things. It would be gone. So I'm working on that because I really do want to step it up to, you know, veggies. I actually lost weight since I've been cooking from scratch. I also added more veggies. Yes, actually, awesome. Cooking from scratch, because again, you are, you're creating the dish. You are in control of the fats that are going in and out. You are in control. Oh, Esmeralda's got her homework in. Awesome job. You are in control of the fats that you're putting in, the salts you're putting in, you know, all of that stuff. So, good for you. Good for you. That was Miss Daya. Trying to keep up with your comments here. Yes, all of that. I've been seeing a cardiologist in 2 weeks. He'll be happy I've lost 35 pounds. Yes. Yes. Hearts in the chat for Lexus Diva, down 35 pounds. That's amazing. Keep going, girl. That is amazing. I make my own seasonings too. I leave the salt out if I can. Yeah. I'm trying to do that too. Like my daughter always tells me like I have a high tolerance for salt. So like she can taste something is more salty than I can. So when I'm like making our meals, I'll use like little to no salt because I just like have a high tolerance for it, and I don't always, I don't taste it as much as she does. Yes, hearts in the chat for everyone just on your healthy journey. I'm gonna check my bread. My timer says 5 minutes, but my trained nose says it might be done. Thank you since November 20 more to go. You got this. You got this. Hearts in the chat. Yes, health is wealth, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna check my bread. This smells like I need to check it. It's probably because I have this little tiny one in here. Let's see. Oh yeah. See, I knew it. This little tiny one is actually even a little like overcooked. It's a little more golden brown than I would like, but look at that, pick is completely dry, so that one's ready. Let's check this other one. And I think that was Esmeralda, who already sent her banana bread, so she's rocking and rolling. So I didn't need the, okay, so my bigger loaf, I just take, look at that rise. Look at those nuts. Okay, but this is, see, that's still kind of wet. So this one does need more time. So it was that little one that I was smelling. Okay. All right, so a few more minutes. Bananas in the chat if your bread is out already. So we saw Esmeralda, her bread was out. If anyone else has their bread out, put some bananas in the chat so I can know. All right, pop quiz question number 10. Someone tell me the difference between butter and margarine. Okay, Nikki, her bread is out. Okay, good. We're making good time here. So my timer says 3 minutes. Okay, so number 10, pop quiz question. Last one, number 10. Tell me the difference between butter and margarine. the oils. Yes, I will take that answer. Who was that? The other. Butter is from cream, margarine is oil, one is vegetable oil. Yes, exactly, the oil. That was Miss Daya. Yes, claps in the chat for Miss Daya. You're rocking and rolling tonight. Okay, I got that note on that. Yeah, so when you're grabbing your butters versus your margarines, you're checking the oil content, and you're also checking the fat content on those. And between like butter, between margarine, between an actual oil can be like interchangeable in your scratch recipes. So I'm trying to think, which one did we have that was a good example for that? Oh, probably the cookies, probably the very beginning in the cookies, whether you had a butter versus a margarine. You can see the difference in your spreads. Okay, let me see. Let me go back in the comments here. Butter is dairy, margarine is oil-based. Yes, exactly. And my bread is ready. All right, awesome. I have 1 minute left on my timer, so let's see if mine will actually be ready in 1 minute. But my little tiny one is, I can show you that. And I'm not mad at it, my little like leftover. It's a little more, oh, I can hold it. It's a little more brown than I would prefer. But see, it's only a tiny bit in here. I just didn't want to waste it. But it's nice and soft. It smells amazing. Amazing. Is Imperial butter or margarine? That's butter. So if you're gonna bake, if you're gonna use butter, Imperial, I would suggest first. That's a really good brand. Look at that, Imperial right here. So look at that one. Smells so good. Do we have smell-o-vision? Smells so good. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's put that down there. So I just got about a minute left. Awesome, we are rocking and rolling. Okay, let me look at previous weeks again. There's my timer, okay. I'm gonna put 1 minute. Let's give it 1 more minute since I just opened the oven. All right, and let's see, who was that? I missed that name. Somebody put some bananas in the chat. Oh, I am Miss Noni. Okay, Nikki. So Nikki's, get your, got your bread pan on your cooling rack, like off of your oven, like this. See, there's my bread. Oven is here, bread is over here. Okay, so take your bread off of your oven onto your cooling rack so that it can start to cool down. Put some bananas in the chat if your bread is out of the oven or just coming out of the oven. Let me check your notes here. Okay, it looks like I'm caught up. All right, thanks for the likes on the live, y'all. I'm just looking at notes again. Okay. Okay, so I'll check mine again. I needed to think. They are cooking. They look good, right? They look so good. Can't wait for a taste. Who brought something to add to their banana bread? Are you guys gonna add it to anything? Add anything to it? Let me know in the chat if you're adding anything. If you're pairing your bread with anything. This looks so good. So good. The smell is crazy. Okay. Mine is ready. They are cooking. They look so good. Look at that. You guys see that rise there? See why I said just put the nuts down the center if you have nuts for yours. My toothpick is completely clean. Well, there's a little bit of crumble, but they're dry crumble. Okay, and you always check the center, right? Because the center is what cooks last. So when you're baking bread, cake, always check the center because that's the part that's going to be cooked the least. All right, I'm done. I'm going to put my bread on my cooling rack, and I'm going to turn off my oven. Okay, and so you all let me know in the chat where you are, if you're out or if you're still cooking. Put some bananas in the chat if your bread is out and cooling on the rack. See, I have mine on the rack. I turned my oven off, but I left the light on. Let's turn the light off. Okay, lights off. Put some stops in the chat if you're still going on the time. Just so I can know here. Did you all finish your dishes too? I did like my little like pre-wash, but I've got a sink full of dishes that I gotta get to. Thanks for the likes. Okay, so let's look over the notes really quick. Yeah, so, okay, week 3, leavening agents and mixing methods. So you all did blueberry muffins, chocolate covered strawberries, and then Valentine's Day sugar cookies if you wanted to do that. You guys did really good that week. And I love how, you know, some of you used chocolate, some of you were even ambitious and used bananas on that week, and that was week 3. So I really like the tenacity for that. But you've got a great recipe there for those bananas, and like I suggested before, you started with blueberries. If you want to do a strawberry, you can do that. Just make sure they're dry. Chocolate chips, some of you put nuts. I made a loaf and some muffins with my leftover batter. Muffins done, loaf 11 minutes, dishes done. Okay, perfect, you're in a good spot. Bread out of the oven now and dishes done. Awesome. I'm gonna do mine after, that way I don't have my back to you guys. All right, moving along. Okay, so we're letting our bread cool, and then we'll cut it out and be good to go. Okay, so reminders, week 4 was mastering cake and cupcake batters and decorating basics. So we baked vanilla cupcakes, we made American buttercream, and you did simple piping technique, the stars that look like the hydrangeas. Dishes done and kitchen clean. Okay, Lexus Diva, good job. Right, clean as you go. You got your stuff in the oven, boom, 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 get everything cleaned up. This helps you move right along. So that vanilla cupcake recipe that you have, again, that is one that's a great starting recipe, and then you can add to that, like I said, you can put some, what are those called, sprinkles. You can put your cookie crumbs in there, playing around with that recipe. And then your American buttercream, so you learned all of your piping techniques with the Wilton 1M. In my next class, Baking 201, we'll expound on the tips. So like the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, 2Ds, those more fancy ones. They have like what are called Russian piping tips, and those do really cool things. We'll be doing that as well in Baking 201. So you've got a great American buttercream recipe where you can tint, right? Because we learned tinting, and some rosette swirls and stuff. Can we talk about what everyone is doing for their final, or are we keeping it a secret? Keep it a secret. Do you guys want to tell me and each other what you're gonna make? Do you kind of want to see like who's gonna do something that's, you know, more intricate, or who's gonna do something that's a little less intricate? You guys want to vote? Like, it's not a dictatorship. If you guys, you know, want to tell me, if you want to know each other, then we can talk about that. I don't mind. Okay, so vanilla cake, American buttercream. That was week 4. Did I turn my oven off? Yeah, I turned my oven off. Oh, and then chocolate covered strawberries. So you guys learned with chocolate covered strawberries, either if you're gonna use a regular chocolate, you're gonna use your high quality chocolate That way you can, microwave it in bursts of 30 seconds, or you can use your double boiler to melt the chocolate and get a nice smooth coating for your strawberries. Wash them and dry them first. Or I introduced you to the Candy Melts of the world, the Merkins, the Sweet Shop, the Wiltons, stuff like that. Those of you who did strawberries did a really good job. I kind of want to do a cake and decorate it, but it's not my strong suit. Okay, so are you gonna challenge yourself? I'm thinking of creating my own crumble cookie dupe. Which one? Which one? Like they change like every week or something, right? Do you want to tell us which one? They have like cookies of the week or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is the week.
Okay. Oh, and gluten-free. You learned about swiping out gluten-free, but my daughter's birthday is in May. I really want to bake her a cake, but I'm scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Take Baking 201, because we will be doing cakes in there. Okay? And do you guys want to see some of my cakes? I can pull up some cakes on the screen if you guys want to see some of my cakes. I was thinking about doing a cake too, but I take forever to decorate. So if you want to do a cake, do a 4-inch. Well, actually, 4-inch cakes are pretty hard. You can do a 6. You can do a 6-inch cake, because those bake on average about 40 minutes, and within that 40 minutes, you can get started on your toppers. So you can do it. You can achieve it for sure. If you do anything past a 6-inch cake, you're most likely not going to achieve the end result that you want in class next week. So I would say either a 4 or a 6. I would suggest the 6, because a 4-inch, even though they're small, that little tiny one is kind of hard to do. Mystic Capri's got her bread out. Awesome. So we're almost all there. Okay, let me, since you guys taught me last week, let me see if I can remember and put some cakes up here. Look, I forgot already. Settings. Nope, that's not it. Oh, I think it was on Enhance, Effects, Green Screen. Oh, you know what? It's like, okay, it's not letting me see. Ooh, it's not letting me see the entire thing. Okay. Let me just see if I can. Okay, I'm just gonna try to trick. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm gonna take this off for a second. Okay, volume's back, picture's back. I was just trying to trick my camera roll really quick, just so I can show you guys some cakes. Okay, so this first one, all right. Oh, see, that is, can you see that on the screen? See, I can't even tell. Yes, we can hear you. Took the bread out and it came out perfect. Yes. Okay, yes, you can see the cake. Okay, so this cake I picked, oh, it's not really showing the whole thing, but so I'm going to teach you guys, like, obviously now, like, you know how to tint. Okay, so this is your American buttercream. You know how to tint your buttercream. Okay, so that's like a white, which it already comes in. That's a green. So you'll learn, different techniques. So this is a different tip. Okay, and that you can simulate grass. You see, like this is like a soccer ball cake. Okay, this right here, this is a fondant piece right there. That's another one right there. I was really trying to show you guys that one, but it didn't come out all the way. I don't know how to move that, but I'll teach you how to do that. So I'll teach you how to work with fondant. I do buttercream cakes with fondant accents. So I'll teach you guys that. I personally don't cover all of my cakes with fondant because I don't like the taste of that. And a lot of people don't know to like peel that off before eating the cake, and then they think your cake doesn't taste good. So I do buttercream cakes. And then that right there, that is, oh, my hand disappeared. That up there, that is a fondant, like a custom fondant piece as well. So that's something that I can teach. This one right here, my hand keeps disappearing. Okay. This banner right here, that's more advanced class. So that banner right there, nice work. Thank you. Thank you for the heart, me. So that banner right there, that's a sugar sheet, like edible sugar sheet. So in advanced class, you will learn how to prep fondant for sugar sheets, and then the creativity in your sugar sheets, it's endless. My bread is out and she is gorgeous. Thank you, Miss Mercy, for this recipe and walking us through it. You're welcome. Okay, so that's one. So you'll learn cakes like that. Let me show you the next one. Okay. Example number 2. Okay. So believe it or not, you guys already know how to make this cake. Okay. So this is a round cake. You already know how to tint buttercream. That's my daughter, by the way, turning 18. So you already know how to tint buttercream. And you already know how to do like a swirled edge. And then this is more like advanced class. Again, this is like an edible sugar sheet. So you would learn like how to print out images on sugar to put on your cakes. But just this standard round cake with a swirled edge, you all will learn that. Okay? You're about to have me bake myself a cake for my birthday in May. Yes, do it. Okay, so this, it looks hard, but that can be learned. So that's another example. Okay, last example. This is definitely like for advanced class, but I wanted you guys to see techniques here. My birthday is May 9th. Yep, it's coming up quick. This cake is fire. My birthday before last was a black and white cake. I love it. Thank you, Sherry. Yes, I love black and white too. Okay, here's the last one. Can't really see the whole cake, but this is a teapot. I guess it's zoomed in. My mom wants me to start making the family birthday cakes. Yes, do it. You can do it. Okay, so this is all buttercream. Okay, this is candy right here. The number is candy. So you guys will learn that, like different things to do with molds. You can do molds with candy and you can do them with fondant. Okay, on this particular design, I use candy for that one. And then this down here, this is fondant, but you'll learn like there's different tools. I don't know if you can see the detail that has like a nice cool little edge on it to make the ribbon, and then there are little stamps you can use for lettering. And then this up here, you see my hand keeps disappearing. This up here you already know how to do. So this is your American buttercream. You already know how to tint. Remember with the purple, I taught you start here with less of a gel, add a little bit more for your middle blend, add a little bit more for your deeper one. And this is your rosette. So you all already know how to do this. Okay. In totality, yes, this is a more difficult cake to do, but on techniques, I'm showing you this because this is what I've taught you already. You already know how to do that part. So you're a lot of the ways there already. Would I have to order the edible image printer, or is there a company to outsource it? Yes and yes. So if you want, okay, if you want to do like edible, let me get rid of this. This is just going to distract me. If you want to do, how do I get rid of this? No, I don't know how to get rid. Oh, it's the right here. Okay, I'm back. If you want to do edible images, if you want to invest in a printer, you can. You're going to spend a few $100s for a printer, and then you're probably going to spend another 100 or so for edible ink. But I only suggest you making that an investment if you're going to be producing edible images a lot, because the edible ink is sugar, and when it sits in the printer, if you don't run it like every week or every couple of weeks, then that sugar starts to settle and it's just like a nightmare, and you'll have to like clean the nozzles all the time. So unless you know that you're going to use that frequently, I wouldn't suggest you starting there. But then, yes, there are companies that can print out edible sheets for you. That's something I do as well. I can add that to my Etsy shop too. So if you guys have an interest in that and sugar sheets, I can put that on my Etsy shop. So if you need something for, you know, your next event coming up or whatever, then I can print it out for you and ship it to you. Because I do, you know, use that printer all the time, since that's what I do. I couldn't do the roses for nothing. I got a little frustrated when I had them for homework. Just keep practicing. Just keep practicing. That's what it's all about. You will get it for sure. Okay, just keep practicing. Let me just make sure. Okay, it looks like I got through all the comments. Okay, I'm going to move my papers. Let's move on to our bread. I believe everyone is done at this point. Oh, yes, it's 7:59. That went so quick. Okay. I didn't see that time go by so fast. All right, so bread's out of the oven. Take your butter knife. Take the dull edge of your butter knife. I'll be practicing. I want to perfect cakes. Yes, practice. Take the dull edge, and that's what you're going to, that's how you're going to scoop your bread out. So you're going to take the dull edge and carefully go around your cake pan like that. You can see that. The dull edge of the knife. You're going to do that on all four sides. And again, you always want to let your bake, you know, sit and cool for, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending upon how big it is. Okay, using the dull side of the bread knife. Okay, and then once you do that, all four sides around, then just kind of take it and press it or pull it against the side very gently. Okay, and then do that all around. Do that little pull like that. Okay, and this will ensure that you can get it all out in one piece, fingers crossed, right? And then your homework tonight is to show me your full loaf and then cut it and show me the inside like on a slice. Okay, and then I will get a plate. All right, did I do all four sides? Let me just make sure. Smells so good. Okay, I'm not missing any comments or questions here. Okay, so again, homework for tonight. Take a picture of your loaf, your full loaf, and then take a picture of it with a slice. Okay, you got it all like that. And then fingers crossed, your whole loaf can come out of your pan. Voila, just like that. Nice and easy. Okay, just like that. Smells so good, right? Just like that. And then slice it. I'll go ahead and do a slice on mine. I'm going to pull my serrated knife for this one. Do about a 1 inch cut. to see the inside. Ooh, look at that. And it's nice and warm. I'll put that on this side. Okay, there's the center of my bread. I rub butter around the bottom because there was some flour on there. Yeah, as long as it's a thin layer and that'll bring your bread out, then that's where you are. Okay, look at that. Yummy, yummy. So if you've got nuts on yours, it should look like that. If not, it should be plain, but I still want to see the dome with the crackle in the center. That's why I want to see your loaf, okay? So now you've got a banana bread recipe, and remember, whoever was that was earlier with the sweet potatoes, you're going to have to tweak this recipe, okay? Next week, another 2-hour class, your final project and presentation. Get creative, challenge yourself. I will be doing my own project with this as well. And then we're done. So thank you all. And oh, let me see. Is that another question? Nope, we're good. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night. Take a bite of your bread. Take a bite. All right. Have a good night. You're welcome.